Continuing. So we have strength for jumping flat, stepping up in jog or down, where we go lower but much further, and also sideways it is available far on far more extended range than uh, commonly. Later on camera, how fast it rotate, pitching and multiplier for pitch. It depends on the activity we are performing. So it is mostly in if we are in given cycle, camera works accordingly so we can see it better. Like in the idle state, we can look up and down, and it doesn't make much sense to have this degree of freedom when we are moving. It could be just annoying. Yeah, so for now we have just camera back behind our character, but I can add as many camera I like. And here we keeping uh, values, negative pitch for the camera because it is dependent of the main object. Later on we have a jumping array, same as, no, this is for controls. So if we push a button, every frame it's stacking up by the value of speed change, and if it is full it executes jumps. If we release button before this time, it will check if it is enough power to jump and execute or not, depending if it's going with the acceleration up greater than gravity. So mostly if we rotate gravity, it will work accordingly because it is checking against the vector of gravity, not the position up down in the z direction. Later on we have jump strength, so it is same reference as for the jog jumping. This is just for jumping from the stationary position. Obviously if we're walking and we are about to jump, we get some bonus. And here are the detectors. The length for the detectors to be calculated, so it is later on used when we are calculating position for objects where they should fall, because it is good to have detector outside of the body. And same for the detector calculating from past, so we can save its position somewhere and see if the line is crossing anything if in our path. So after calculating body measures, we are just adding this object to the 3D map, which is just push into the array. Thank you, goodbye. So that's all. So this map 3D is stacking all the objects, static object here, controllable here. I can add some helpers object. I were using those previously, like big screens, end of the map or something like that, or position or some other information like numbers. I can turn on and off what I gonna see by the camera, so it is quite useful. Then we are about to go to the mind loop. So we are starting with counting game time, which is just increment. Later on we are calculating FPS to display, because FPS really is completely not readable in flight. Then we have a K reaction. So K reaction is gonna grab keyboard struct, as we see here. There are some exclusions, so pressing some buttons wait a cooldown time. It's keyboard time in this case. And some case are combined, so we can check which control and which alt is currently on, because on the standard Windows keyboard using right alts is enabling Control 2. And for controlling a game, it is obvious we would discriminate if it is right control, left control, and alt, and so on. So same situation here. Print screens, page ups, and so on. Almost all the keyboard is mapped, and there are some keyboard keys that cannot be accessed directly, as in GMS they have some names, or they just refer to something like ORD or number. So I just use straight keyboard keys, and this way it's work. K-time is deducted and going in loop in case it is far too low, just because I can get some unreasonable numbers, and we store all those values in the keyboard struct. So this function returns to this struct. Let's say it's an object of keyboard. Some other functions have also access to writing in case we want to edit some names. And this is overview of the key reaction on the start of every frame. Later on we can access this struct if we controlling a character, but it is later on. It is the definition I showed previously. It will be more visible in the flight during the game. Same situation we have for mouse reactions. So where is the mouse? If the button is clicked, if the cool time for the mouse, so mouse time, is below 0, so I don't click 20 times some function. Screen edge detection and wheel up down. Executing function in every frame. If the cooldown is correct, we can execute some function. It is important for another script to execute just one function, so at the time, so no more than one. Same situation we have for pad reaction. So pad reaction is just checking the devices and if they are connected, and counting axes, creating array of those axes, later on checking value, buttons, and so on and so on for every gamepad. I put the maximum number of gamepad to 4, but max is 12 if somebody need to connect more gamepads. Later on we are interpreting those gamepads because different gamepads have different keys. So I mapped F310 Logitech. Most of them work exact same way, but I found some different. So here we are translating those input from previous function, pad reaction, which is quite raw, to storing values that are named in more human form, like not button number 17, just some button I or select or whatever. Same right jaws, dead zones, left joys, and so on. And they are stored in pad results. I hope so. Yes, they are here. So difference between raw pad array and this kind of struct is just naming. So we have translated the button number or axis number to something we can use. So for example, left joy direction consists of button and one axis and second axis, like X and Y. And those are multipliers, so we can revert axis, and we have dead zones. We have path interpretation, and then we have typing by keyboard. So in case we start typing some name, some function is executed and calling this script. And in case we put something there and we escape, or we make a mistake or something, it's adding something to the name, like extension for file in case we are using files, and it's common writer editor. So nothing special here. Using key time, so in case we press a button, it's not gonna be like 20 times T because we hold it too long. Delayed and backspace working accordingly as expected. Enter ends the function, escape ends the function. So depending on what we press, it works mostly as expected. I found some issues if I change the window in menu and it's starting editing something else instead. Okay, now we're gonna see those functions in flight in game.